Right now, say something memorable.
Shit, I'm on the spot. Okay, let me think.
I'm up here in the amateur radio station at school, and today, in today's video, I'm going to try and do something that's kind of scary. I'm actually really nervous about what I'm going to do here today. Let me show you what I've got here. So this is, as you know, the Radio Shack Portavision 5-inch color TV from 1998. In the last video you saw this thing, I reported that sadly something has gone wrong with this thing and it stopped working properly. The image became very blurry and dark and flickery, and when you looked through the vents of the unit you could see a small purple arc emanating from the very back of the neck of the CRT. Now at the time I made that video, I had been conversing with people on the Videokarma forums. Since I filmed that video, people got me to take pictures of the back of the tube while it was running so people could see exactly where the arc was coming from, and I observed it myself. And it turns out that sadly the CRT in this thing is simply ruined. It has a manufacturing defect that simply didn't manifest until I had begun using the set extensively, which I did when I began my 8mm videotape digitization. That's when I started putting the hours on this set, and that's what it took for this manufacturing defect to manifest. So this tube is ruined. It can't be fixed. It's an internal defect. But what I'd like to do is, you know, a 5-inch color CRT is not a very common thing, and it's really cool. It's especially a cool CRT because it's a Samsung built tube, which I totally didn't expect. And I'd kind of like to keep the tube, throw away the rest of the set, but keep the CRT tube. So what I'm going to try and do in today's video, which is pretty scary, is I'm going to discharge the tube, and then I'm going to try and vent the tube so that I can safely remove it from the set and just keep it as an ornament. You saw in the beginning of this video my friend Tommy. That little clip took place in the student development studio at school, and basically I came there to use the power supplies there to play around with the set and see what it did, you know, and make sure you know, just make sure it was being fed the right voltage and stuff. And my friend Tommy happened to be there, and with his help I actually discharged this thing for the first time I've ever discharged a CRT. And it was really scary, and he actually ended up doing it, and he was a bit nervous, but we actually did it, and we learned to do it, and I've done it myself to this tube since then. There's no danger in, you know, a tube this small. If I got shocked by this, it would be extremely rare that it would kill me, but it would be startling and painful, and that's what I'm scared of most. But I figured out how to discharge this tube. Now we're on to the next scary part, which is venting the tube. And you may wonder, why am I up here in the amateur radio station at school? I was going to go to the student development studio, and lo and behold, it's been empty all summer. The one time I come in there to actually do something, there's someone there. That's not my friend Tommy, who's always there. So yeah, it's like I just want my privacy, so I came up here. I could do it at home, but I've already lugged everything here, so I might as well just do it here. So what we're going to do in this video, we're going to open this thing up so I have access to the CRT. I'll show you discharging it, and then we're going to try and vent it. And venting it's probably going to be as scary or even more scary than discharging it, because if you do something wrong venting a CRT, it can explode, and that's not pretty. It's very, very ugly, in fact. Potentially dangerous, because a CRT is made out of lead glass, and lead glass, at face value, there's no harm in it. It's not like poisonous or anything, but if the tube explodes, lead glass dust flies into the air, and you breathe that in, and then you're in trouble. So we're hopefully not going to do that. So what I've brought here is, I brought a blanket, and so before I vent the tube, I'm going to wrap the entire set in this blanket. with just the back of the neck of the tube sticking out, which is the part I need. And so I have access to the very neck of the tube, and I'm going to try and break that, crack it, whatever, to open up the tube and let the air in. And if it happens to explode, then everything will catch into this blanket. There won't be, you know, shards of glass flying everywhere. But we'll open up the set and then I'll show you discharging it. Okay, here's the set open. I cut the wires to the speaker and antenna that anchor it to the back of the case, just to free it up here. So how to discharge a CRT tube. Now I'm going to say this right now because I haven't said it yet. The things I'm doing are slightly dangerous. If you work on a large CRT, discharging it is definitely dangerous, and venting a CRT can be dangerous. So if you try this, be careful, and I'm not responsible if you hurt yourself. And I don't think I've ever had to do that on one of my videos before. So to discharge a CRT, now of course maybe this doesn't have to be said, but don't touch anything inside here until it's discharged because you could be shocked. So basically, to discharge a CRT tube, you see that little metal tab right there? That was touching the black surface of the tube, and it's also connected to a metal strap that goes around the perimeter of the face of the tube. And then over here, you see this rubber cup with a lead that goes to the flyback transformer, which is right here. To discharge the tube, I've got to make an electrical connection between that tab and a metal rod that's under that anode cup. So how you do this is, I've got a screwdriver right here, and I've got an alligator clip. So what you do is, I connect one end of the alligator clip to the screwdriver, like that, the metal part of the screwdriver. The other end of the alligator clip's going to be connected to that ground tab on the CRT, and then I take the screwdriver, shove it under the rubber anode cup to touch the other point, and when I make contact, you'll see a spark and you'll hear a snap. Alright, so I'm actually wearing nitrile gloves here. Would these gloves stop the couple thousand volts that a CRT might be charged to? Probably not. I've read one account that said they don't, but it makes me feel better to wear them anyway. So what I'm going to do here is, also there's a rule that you learn when you become an electrician or an electrical engineer. It's the one hand rule, and the one hand rule is you do all work with high voltage stuff using only one hand, and you keep the other hand behind your back. And the reason for that is so, you know, if you accidentally touch one point of a high voltage charge with one hand and the other, you know, point with the other hand, and the electrical charge travels across both of your arms, your heart's in the middle of the path there, so you have that high voltage charge running across your heart. And if that happens, your heart could stop, and that's the method by which you die. But using only one hand, if I do shock myself, the shock is limited to that one arm, and I'll be okay. So I'm going to connect to the ground point here, like that. And now I'm going to take the screwdriver, shove it under the anode cup, and we'll probably get a spark. Now my other hand, well, it should be behind my back, but it's not. It's holding the tube to keep it from sliding around. And there was actually no spark, but it definitely, you know, I've definitely done it. It's discharged now. I'm surprised I didn't see a spark. The tube has been sitting turned off for a few weeks, but normally a CRT is able to hold some limited charge. So a good thing to do at this point is, because a CRT can regain charge just from the atmosphere, I'm going to pull the anode cup off, which I should be able to do. I would have thought we'd be able to do it. I think it should just come out like a plug, but maybe it doesn't, I don't know. Well, maybe not, maybe it can't come off. What I would have liked to have done if it came off would be to just connect the other end of the alligator clip straight to the cup, or straight to the plug that the cup is connected to, just so it's permanently discharged. So I'm just going to skip, you know, I've discharged it. It's good for a while, so I'm going to skip right to venting it. So first I'm going to pull off this circuit board, which connects to the pins of the tube. Now to vent this thing, this is the scary part, we're basically going to take a pair of pliers or something and attack that nipple. And we're going to break that nipple, and that's going to let the air in. Now this is the scary part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move some stuff out of the way. And we're going to take this blanket and wrap it around the entire TV set. I'm going to discharge it again because I'm paranoid about getting shocked, even though any shock would be minimal at this point. I'm still surprised that anode cup won't come off. Normally they're supposed to pull off. But anyway, so again, this is the first time I've ever done this, so I'm really kind of nervous. Like that, I suppose. Get everything as tucked in as possible with just the neck of the tube sticking out. So there's the nipple of the tube right there. And I know I'm probably not going to be able to give you a good shot. I didn't bring a tripod with me. I'm going to cover this as best I can. And I have a pair of wire cutters here, and I'm going to try and break that nipple. I'm very nervous, so wish me luck. Now, when I break it, hopefully if I break it, you'll hear a psss as all the air lets in. If it's kind of a dirty break and I make too big of a hole in it, you'll hear it go pshh, because all the air's let in really fast. And if I really screw up, it'll just explode, and I can't imitate that noise. So here we go. I'm just going to grab onto that nipple and break it. Oh, my hands are shaking now. Oh, did I get it? I think I got it. Yes, I think I got it. I didn't hear any air rush in, but there is broken glass. Yes, the electron gun assembly has partially fallen out. Okay, we're done. We did it. That was so incredibly nerve-wracking. There it is. It's pretty dirty. It's a pretty dirty break, but it works. Now I can pull the gun out here. Oh, that is so cool. Wow. Deal with that later. So what I've got to do next is I've got to discharge the tube again. Even after it's vented, a CRT can gain and hold a charge. Because how a CRT works is, you know, the vacuum has nothing to do with its ability to act as a capacitor. How it works is, of course, this black coating on the outside, it's a graphite-based coating, and there's a similar graphite-based coating on the inside of the tube. And the lead glass sandwiched between the graphite coatings is a dielectric. It serves as a dielectric, and the tube is able to store a charge. So let me see now if I can pull that. Oh, let me discharge it first. I was about to just start yanking really hard at the anode cup. Oh, there's bits of glass falling out. That was a really non-violent break. I didn't even hear any air hissing. My face feels like it's 1,000 degrees right now. That was just so nerve-wracking. Okay. No, that anode cup is just knocking. In fact, I hear it. I hear the metal contact scraping around on the inside of the tube. Yeah, no, that ain't, I don't know why it ain't coming off, but it ain't coming off. So I'm just going to take some wire cutters and cut the lead. So at least then it's free. cut it a bit cleaner here. And let's pull the gun assembly out all the way. What is this? Holy crap. Wow, that is cool. Now if we take a look at this, you can see 3 holes. And that would be the 3 electron guns, red, green, and blue. If this were a nicer TV and it was a Trinitron tube, it would just be the 1 gun. Because that's the basis by which Trinitron televisions do their thing. There's the whole electron gun assembly. Wow, I did not do a good job breaking that tube. That was a really horribly dirty break. That's probably why I didn't hear a pop. Probably just air came in immediately. Oh, now take a look at that. Turn the light on here. Look at that black. Look at that black spot. I think that's a burn mark. I think that's where it's been arcing. Wow, that's interesting. I'll have some glass to clean up here eventually. Got little bits of glass everywhere. Ah, there's probably glass on my blanket, which my mother's not going to be pleased with because it's actually her blanket. But let me slide the gun assembly back in. Just like that. And everything's kind of, I was hoping to like remove the deflection coils and stuff, just have the bare glass tube, because I think that's really, you know, most of the beauty of it is just the glass work that goes into a CRT. I've always loved, you know, glass things, but we might have to leave them on there because they appear to be like really solidly glued in place and such. I'm actually going to try and take the other end of the alligator clip and just shove it under that anode cup. There. I've got the alligator clip just staying there, so there's no chance for it to build up a charge. But now let's see if we can get the tube out of there. Well, I see screws. Let's remove the screws. And there's the tube. Look at that. Wow. That's a really cool piece of glass. It's very heavy. Cool piece of glass work. Extremely thick glass on this front part here. Getting quite thin once you get up here. There's the deflection coils. There's a date code, 1998. There's where the deflection coils connect to power. That would be with these bunch of wires right here. Sticker down there. Oh, I figured out how to remove the anode cup. You gotta squeeze it. It's like a little clip. You gotta squeeze it. Oh, I was able to do it. Well, maybe I used a tool, but you gotta squeeze it and then it pulls out. And here's the circuit board. Right there you can see the wires, the plug that goes to the deflection coils. And yeah, there's a couple of Phillips parts on here, probably part of the TV tuner. And then on the bottom, lots going on here. There's actually a lot of circuitry here. And then there's the flyback transformer. So yeah, this can just go straight in the trash. And there we are with the tube. Very, very cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wipe off, clean up any shards of glass. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about my blanket. I guess examine it and see if I can see any shards of glass. And if there isn't, I'm going to guess it's okay. But there you go. You saw me successfully vent discharge and vent, a 5-inch color CRT, and yeah, this is pretty cool. It's just a neat piece of glasswork, and I'll probably just let it sit on a shelf and look cool. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.